5 things I wish I knew when I've started the business. Once I was browsing YouTube, chasing new ideas for the content, and I ran into the video of Alex Hormozi. By the way, hey guys, Layla, Alex, you are my role models. I really admire what you guys have created. And he was sharing advices from his entrepreneurial experience. And I thought that this might be a really good idea to share my experience and to share my advices, which can save a lot of time and money to those people who will watch this video. As a real digital marketer, I believe that anything can be found on Google except your experience. If you think that it's not a good time to launch an online course, it's not the best time to start a coaching program, you have that imposter syndrome, remember that people have everything online, everything can be for free, except that they might have access to your personal experience, and it's all the time unique. I'm Anna Zakkery. I've been in the niche of digital marketing for 9 years and in the niche of a business for more than 11 years. My gosh, that was so long time ago.
Oh my God! Wow!
And my company acquired customers for online courses and coaching programs. If you are thinking of launching your online course and you would like to give it a try, in the description box, you can find the ebook, which will guide you to the first $10,000 revenue from your sold online course. The number one thing that stands out from my experience and which I immediately remembered when I was preparing this video goes back to 2014 when I established the first company. That was a wholesale furniture business. We were buying the furniture in China together with my partner and then resold it to the vendors and to the owners of furniture stores. That was the first bright experience of being an entrepreneur. This was the first moment when I faced very big challenge. I did not know how to partner, how to communicate with the person with whom you are building the business. So number one problem which I was facing all these years, and number one problem for many entrepreneurs, is that we treat another person like a problem, not like an enormous resource of help and assets. I was not able to overcome that back in 2014, and unfortunately, after 2 years of a successful work, of a really successful business, we were not able to work it out how to deal in this partnership, how to start arguing and find a common solution, how to separate what one needs to do and what's another should be responsible for. What would I change in that situation is that I would definitely first separate the responsibilities of two partners. The other thing, again, stop treating the other person as somebody who works less than you are. Because sometimes the work is visible, the other time the work is not visible because you just have to make up the strategy, you need to go and talk to the clients, you need to think on some stuff that will not provide the result immediately. And that's why the other part start to think like, oh my gosh, you're not working at all. You see how much I have done and what you have done with all this time. And here comes the arguments and sharing one small blanket. I've done more than you are. When are you going to start working? And so on. The other idea, which I have very quickly realized, that when I was working in a corporate segment before establishing my first business, I was treating business like a freedom. And there is still such misconception. People say, oh, freedom, now I'm an entrepreneur. Yes, you're absolutely free to work 24 hours per 7 days or 25 hours per 7 days. So this is very conditional freedom. Now nobody tells you what you need to do. The truth is, most part of the people in this world work way better when they have a commitment in front of somebody and they need to accomplish this task. Just because they have been given an order or they have a client to whom they need to provide. That's why the first challenge when you become an entrepreneur is definitely to learn how to work with that freedom and what to do with that freedom and how to implement self-control into your life. Otherwise, your results will be not so stable. You will give you either too much freedom or too much of a control, but the truth is, as always, somewhere in the middle. here are some signs which will show you that you are not ready to start your business. The first thing, if you work in a corporate system and you really value your free time after 5 p.m. So if you do not pick up the phone after 5, if you do not pick up the phone during the weekends, this is a sign that you are not fully committed and you are not ready for the business. You might say, oh, no, I'm only not committed because I work for somebody's company. But when I have my own, things will change. They will not change. This is the pattern of your behavior. The other sign that shows that you are absolutely not ready for the business is when you have to stay at your desk and you have to work, but after you clock in, you allow yourself to go to the gym, you allow yourself to be distracted by something, you are actually not working while your boss is paying you because he thinks that you have clocked in and you are currently at work doing some important duties. In this case, you're not ready. Don't even think of starting your own company unless you decide that no more, I'm gonna change. Especially now in 2025, when you have to run in order to stay at the same position as you are. If you're not running, you are going backward. And if you want to make a progress, you need to run 10 times faster. So this is a really difficult challenge. The other important advice for me as an entrepreneur with 11 years of experience is being an entrepreneur makes you communicate and negotiate with other human beings. And those human beings have their own pains, needs, desires, they have their own characters that you probably is not ready to deal with. I didn't take it seriously at the beginning. I thought that I will be able to do everything myself with a minimum involvement of other people because I'm really a person who works on my own. I'm the person who doesn't need any extra emotional support. I am okay to motivate myself and to do a lot of work. But the problem is, this is the world where people live. And we have to know how to communicate with them, how to persuade them, how to sell, to pitch the ideas. And this all creates the fundamental basics of the business. I was not ready to see that some people will underperform and will not deliver what they have promised because I have very high demands to myself and I automatically apply those demands to other people. But the truth is, people are different and they have different values. I value results at work. The other people value free time. They want to make money to be able to buy that free time and spend it with kids, spend it for pleasure. For me, it's different. And just imagine how many different people you will have to communicate with in order to create a successful business. Once you understand this, you will not be expecting from others to perform at the same level of motivation and commitment as you doing this. And that is a big relief, actually. Another important thing which I realized is that the winner is the entrepreneur who thinks at a long-term distance. It is so easy to start making results every month. We are all triggered by a low-hanging fruit motivation. So when you just do something and see immediate result. But the most difficult part, and actually the only part which will lead your company to success, is to have a long-term strategy, which probably will make you to wait until the first financial result or any other numeric results, wait for months or even years. This is how big companies are built. So forget about immediate pleasures and immediate results. Think on a long-term distance. I want you to ask yourself a question. Analyze what you have been performing for the last 6 months at your job, no matter what you currently do. You have your own business, or you work in a corporate segment, or you don't work at all. If you take everything what you've done as 100% of all actions performed, how big will be the share of actions that was related to a long-term distance results? And maybe the last thing which really important Once you start get the first results, once you start making money at a constant basis, you just figured out the clue, how to deal with people, how to make money, and it looks like everything is going on as it should be. But then one day you feel that emptiness inside and you just do not understand what are you doing here? What is your real purpose? Are you just a cash machine and you just eager to generate more and more money? Okay, you can do so, but once your basic needs will be covered, you will buy you a house, you will get a third car, your kids will have enough funds to enter the best colleges and universities of this world, you will travel a lot, you have everything. Okay, what comes next? Starting from the very first point, it would be so helpful if you clearly understand why are you waking up every day, why you need to perform all those actions, and what stands behind all those challenges that you overcome so bravely. You need to find something that will help you. For me, I just ask myself a question: what kind of impact I would like my company to bring to this world? Something big and global, something what you can change or something you can influence on. So for every person, it's a different thing. At one level, you cannot think about big goals once your basic needs are not covered. But once you start performing better and better and your business will start growing, this is the point when you need to prevent the burnout and loss of desire to proceed. At the end, I should say that if we check the Forbes list, we will see more male names there than females. And that is obvious by two factors. Firstly, females, they usually have to take care of the family and they're more willing to take care of the family. They need to give birth to new people to this world. But the other factor, which I consider to be extremely important, is that usually men have more ability to risk just because they stay kids until a very old age and they like to play the games more than girls do. If you treat your business too seriously, if you treat it as a go all in or die, you will more likely die than win in this tough game. Because life will all the time gives you surprises, ups and downs, and if you do not treat it as a real game, if you lose that gambling feeling inside you, it is so hard to stay motivated. That's why the really good thing that which you can help yourself with is to start loving the games. Every day, find something in your business which really looks like a game. And that will help you to save your motivation, increase your level of energy, and make your result even better. Let me know in the comments which of these advices hit you the most. Stay tuned and see you next time.